So, what if the real difference between profit and loss in a giant factory wasn't about working harder, but about listening smarter? Today, let's step onto the factory floor of a massive rice manufacturer to see how data intelligence is kicking off a whole new industrial revolution. Okay, so picture this, a huge multi-stage operation. We're talking tons of rice moving through pre-steaming, soaking, tempering, and drying. It's this incredibly complex dance of machinery where just one tiny misstep in timing or temperature can ruin an entire batch. You've got quality and efficiency on the line every single second. And here's the crazy part. The plant already had this whole network of internet-connected sensors and IoT infrastructure, measuring absolutely everything from temperature to moisture. They were collecting a tsunami of data, but it was just noise. They were completely data-rich, but totally information-poor.
So that brings us right to the first major hurdle, a factory literally drowning in data, but starved for actual insight. It's a problem a lot of industries are facing, but at this scale, it was a full-blown crisis in the making.
And the crucial point here is this. All the pieces of the puzzle were there. They had high-volume sensor data streaming in from every single stage of production. But there was absolutely no scalable system to put those pieces together to see the big picture of what was really happening across the plant. Unmanaged data isn't just some technical headache, right? It's a real drain on the bottom line. For this factory, the data chaos was creating very real and very expensive problems, day in and day out. And let's be really clear here. This wasn't some IT issue you could just tuck away in a server room. No way. This was a business crisis, and it was impacting everything from production consistency to these spiraling, completely unpredictable costs.
Now, what's really fascinating is how these problems just cascaded. It was like a domino effect. Unstable data coming in led to skyrocketing storage costs. It created duplicate data, which then just broke all the analytics pipelines downstream. And the result? Nobody had a single reliable view of the plant, which meant every batch of rice was basically a gamble.
So how in the world do you fix a crisis like this? Well, you don't just patch the leaks. You have to engineer a whole new system. And this is where the Industrial IoT Data Platform comes into play, designed specifically to turn that flood of raw data into real operational intelligence. The solution was built on 3 core pillars. First, a super resilient framework to reliably pull in all that sensor data. Second, a centralized model to give all that data structure and connect the dots. And third, an intelligence layer to create dashboards and analytics that people could actually use to make decisions. With this new platform in place, the transformation was, well, it was immediate and dramatic. The plant started its journey from a state of reactive chaos to one of proactive, data-driven control.
I mean, the difference was night and day. Before, they were dealing with high variability between batches and had zero unified view of anything. Now, they have consistency and a single source of truth. All that manual guesswork was replaced by rapid, data-backed analysis. And those unpredictable expenses became controlled, manageable costs. And this is what that control actually looks like. Instead of digging through endless spreadsheets, operators now have a clear, interactive command center. They can see performance at a glance, compare batches side by side, and spot problems before they turn into major disasters.
But this wasn't just a one-time fix. You have to understand, this project established a completely new blueprint for how the manufacturer would operate from now on, with data sitting right at the core of every decision.
And the long-term value here is just immense. A stable architecture means they can grow without breaking the whole system. Predictable costs mean they can do much better financial planning. And with that single source of truth, everyone from the plant floor to the executive office is finally working from the same playbook.
This quote really sums it all up, doesn't it? It shows that this wasn't just about one piece of software. It was a true end-to-end solution. It addressed the entire data lifecycle, from the raw signal coming off a sensor all the way to an actionable insight on a manager's screen. And that leaves us with one final thought. This project essentially gave a voice to the machinery. It allowed the factory to listen, to learn, and to optimize in ways that were just impossible before. So the real question is, what could your operations achieve if every single one of your assets could do the same?